Hello everyone, I'm Joshua Opara.
And I'm Chris Chowning.
And we're the Super Medicare Bros.
Hello.
Yes. So as we explained in our Meet the Super Medicare Bros introduction video, we're all about educating you so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to your Medicare benefits.
That's right. And before we jump into this video, we wanted to remind everybody out there that not only do we educate communities on how all of this works, but we also help folks enroll once they feel informed and ready. So feel free to call or text us for more information, or you can fill out our entirely secure form, which is on the front of our website below here, and we'll get back with you promptly.
Now that you've gotten your red, white, and blue Medicare card, or maybe you're about to have it because you just enrolled into Medicare, it's time to decide what is best for you and to see if you need additional coverage. For this video, we're using the 2020 How to Choose a Medigap Policy, which is a CMS guide to assist seniors in the area of Medicare. If you would like us to email you a copy, just fill out our secure form in front of the website.
Now, when it comes down to it, you really have three options now that you've got your Medicare card. Option number one, you stay on traditional Medicare and that's it. Option number two, you enroll into a Medicare Advantage plan. Or option number three, you choose a Medigap or Medicare Supplement plan. So in this introduction video to Medicare Supplement plans or Medigap plans, we're going to focus on what those are, who can enroll onto a Medigap plan, and when.
What is a Medigap or Medicare Supplement plan? A Medicare Supplement or Medigap plan is a type of health insurance sold by private insurers to cover the gaps in Medicare, thus the name Medigap Plans. These plans pay for the costs that normally Medicare would pass on to you. Medicare has gaps for things like copayments, deductibles, and coinsurance, and you may pay for these when accessing medically approved services.
Now, if you have a Medigap policy, Medicare pays its share of your medical expenses first, and then your Medicare Supplement policy will pay its share, depending on which Medigap policy you've purchased. We'll dive into each individual Medigap policy and teach you what these plans cover in other videos in the future. However, here is a chart of all the different types of Medicare Supplement plans.
A couple of drawbacks to a Medigap policy is that they don't cover dental, vision, or hearing, so you will have to purchase a separate plan to get those benefits unless you decide to pay out of pocket for those services. Medigap plans also don't cover prescription drugs or have a Part D, so a separate standalone prescription drug plan will also need to be purchased. They also don't cover long-term care or private duty nursing, but don't worry, we help folks with these plans all the time. On this list, it also shows that these other types of plans are not supplemental plans.
So what do you need to know if you want to buy a Medigap policy? We're just going to read through these. This is all really good information. You must have Medicare Part A, which is hospital insurance, and Medicare Part B, which is your medical insurance. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, but are planning to return to original Medicare, you can apply for a Medigap policy before your coverage ends. The Medigap insurer can sell it to you as long as you're leaving the plan. Ask that the new Medigap policy start when your Medicare Advantage plan enrollment ends so that you'll have continuous coverage. You pay the private insurance company a premium for your Medigap policy in addition to the monthly Part B premium you pay to Medicare. A Medigap policy only covers one person. A Medigap policy only covers one person. If you and your spouse both want Medigap coverage, you'll each need to buy a separate Medigap policy. When you have your Medigap open enrollment period, you can buy a Medigap policy from any insurance company that's licensed in your state. Any standardized Medigap policy is guarantee renewable even if you have health problems. Now this means the insurance company can't cancel your Medigap policy as long as you stay enrolled and pay the monthly premium. Different insurance companies may charge different premiums for the same exact policy. As you shop for a policy, be sure you're comparing the same policy For example, compare Plan A from one company with Plan A from another company. Some states may have laws that may give you additional protections. And although some Medigap policies sold in the past covered prescription drugs, Medigap policies sold after January 1st of 2006 aren't allowed to include prescription drug coverage. So if you want prescription drug coverage, you can join a Medicare prescription drug plan, which is Part D, and that's also offered by private companies approved by Medicare.
Now, when is the best time to buy a Medicare supplement policy? In regards to this, it's very important, primarily one main reason: guarantee issue. When's the best time to buy a Medigap policy? The best time to buy a Medigap policy is during Medigap open enrollment period. This period lasts for 6 months and begins on the first day of the month in which you're both 65 or older and enrolled in Medicare Part B. Some states have an additional open enrollment periods, including those for people under 65. During this period, an insurance company can't use medical underwriting to decide whether to accept your application. This means the insurance company can't do any of these because of your health problems. Refuse to sell you any Medigap policy it offers, charge you more for a Medigap policy than they charge someone with no health problems, make you wait for coverage to start, except as explained below. While the insurance company can't make you wait for your coverage to start, it may be able to make you wait for coverage related to pre-existing condition. A pre-existing condition is a health problem you have before the date a new insurance policy starts. In some cases, the Medigap insurance company can refuse to cover your out-of-pocket costs for these pre-existing health problems for up to 6 months. This is called pre-existing condition. In some cases, the Medigap insurance company can refuse to cover your out-of-pocket costs for these pre-existing health problems for up to 6 months. This is called a pre-existing condition waiting period. After 6 months, the Medigap policy will cover the pre-existing condition. Coverage for a pre-existing condition can only be excluded if the condition was treated or diagnosed within 6 months before the coverage starts under the Medigap policy. This is called the look-back period. Remember, for Medicare covered services, original Medicare will still cover the condition, even if the Medigap policy won't, but you're responsible for the Medicare coinsurance or copayment.
Now, to continue the discussion as to when is the best time to buy a Medigap policy, we need to go over what creditable coverage is. It's possible to avoid or shorten your waiting period for a pre-existing condition if you buy a Medigap policy during your Medicare open enrollment period, or you're replacing certain kinds of health coverage that counts as creditable coverage. Prior creditable coverage is generally any other health coverage you recently had before applying for a Medigap policy. If you've had at least 6 months of continuous prior creditable coverage, the Medigap insurance company can't make you wait before it covers your pre-existing conditions. There are many types of health care coverage that may count as creditable coverage for Medigap policies, but they'll only count if you didn't have a break in the coverage for more than 63 days. Your Medigap insurance company can tell you if your previous coverage will count as creditable coverage for this purpose. You can also call your state health insurance assistance program. If you buy a Medigap policy when you have a guaranteed issue right, the insurance company can't use a pre-existing condition waiting period. So that's great news. Now, side note here, if you're under 65 and have Medicare because of a disability or end-stage renal disease, you might not be able to buy the Medigap policy you want or any Medigap policy until you turn 65. Federal law generally doesn't require insurance companies to sell Medigap policies to people under 65. However, some states require Medigap insurance companies to sell you a Medigap policy even if you're under 65.
Why is it important to buy a Medigap policy when I'm first eligible? Well, when you're first eligible, you have the right to buy any Medigap policy offered in your state. In addition, you generally will get better prices and more choices among policies. It's very important to understand your Medigap open enrollment period. Outside of Medigap open enrollment, Medigap insurance companies are generally allowed to use medical underwriting to decide whether to accept your application and how much to charge you for the Medigap policy. However, if you apply during your Medigap open enrollment period, you can buy any Medigap policy the company sells, even if you have health problems, for the same price as people with good health. If you apply for Medigap coverage after your open enrollment period, there's no guarantee that an insurance company will sell you a Medigap policy if you don't meet the medical underwriting requirements, unless you're eligible for guaranteed issue rights. That's Medigap protections. Because of one of the limited. It's also important to understand that your Medigap rights may depend on when you choose to enroll in Medicare Part B. If you're 65 or older, your Medigap open enrollment period begins when you enroll in Part B, and it can't be changed or repeated. After your Medigap open enrollment period ends, you may be denied a Medigap policy or charged more for a Medigap policy due to past or present health problems. In most cases, it makes sense to enroll in Part B and buy a Medigap policy when you're first eligible for Medicare, because you might otherwise have to pay a Part B late enrollment penalty and might miss your 6-month Medigap open enrollment period. However, there are exceptions if you have employer coverage.
Now, regarding folks that have end-stage renal disease or kidney failure, we wanted to clear up some of the confusion as we get a lot of questions about this. So this is really information for people under 65, Medigap policies for people under 65 and eligible for Medicare because of a disability or end-stage renal disease. You may have Medicare before turning 65 due to a disability or end-stage renal disease. If you're under 65 and have Medicare because of a disability or ESRD, you might not be able to buy the Medigap policy you want or any Medigap policy until you turn 65. Federal law generally doesn't require insurance companies to sell Medigap policies to people under 65. However, some states require Medigap insurance companies to sell you a Medigap policy even if you're under 65. Okay, now these are the Medigap policies for people under 65 and eligible for Medicare because of a disability or end-stage renal disease. You can see all these states listed below here. Okay, that's done with that. Basically, what this is saying is that if you had end-stage renal disease before 65, there had to be at least an option for coverage. However, if you are turning 65, you'll get guarantee issue and can't be denied for coverage based on health conditions. If you miss your Medigap open enrollment and then are now subject to underwriting by the private company, chances are, due to the end-stage renal disease, the application will be denied. The good news is, however, is that folks that miss this deadline or can't afford the Medigap option are now able to enroll into a Medicare Advantage plan for coverage in 2021. So be on the lookout for those videos as well.
We realize this is a lot of information, and we will be going into further detail when it comes to Medicare Supplement plans with videos in the future. But we wanted to give you just a brief overview or intro into the world of Medigap plans.
That's right. And hey, we get calls all the time from folks, our clients, that say, hey, Chris, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I didn't know I should have picked this plan or this route over this route. So we fix things like this all the time for folks. But let's just say you did choose a Medicare Advantage plan and decided you should have gotten on a Medigap plan. Or vice versa. Let's say you got on a Medigap plan and thought, you know what, I should have really gone on a Medicare Advantage plan. Basically, there are times when you can revert back. There's things called special election periods that we can help you guys with. So if you did make a mistake or just want advice, definitely get a hold of us, and that's what we're here for.
All right. And, we know this is an important decision, so feel free to reach out to us at 405-633-3322 when it comes to Medigap plans. Prices, they're not the same across all private insurance companies. And in other words, the Plan G quote may come back a little different price for each company. Also, some Medigap plans may come with additional benefits, like a gym membership or maybe discount on some eyewear. Some companies experience higher rate increases over the long run than others. That's where we come in, as we can not only help you pick what's right for you, but be able to break down the differences and remove the guesswork, and help you fix anything you may have done out of not knowing any better.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up or a like. Be sure and follow us on our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, comment below and tell us where you're from. We always love hearing where folks are from. But these videos are for you to share with your friends and family, so feel free to do that as well.
Thank you for your time. It's an honor to be able to serve you in this way as your virtual Medicare specialist. And remember, I'm Joshua Parra.
And I'm Chris Chowning.
And we're the Super Medicare Bros, your favorite Medicare resource. See you later.